Welcome back to Post Scientist. I am Anjane and today we are tackling a question that's been popping up in our DMs like a push notification you can't swipe away. You have noticed something and honestly it feels a little like when your friend says they are not mad but then post a vague Spotify lyric at 2 am. Here's the vibe you are picking up on when there is a BRICS summit. Chinese officials talk about the United States, sometimes with a side of shade, but when China and the US strike a bilateral deal on climate, on trade, on AI, suddenly it's all constructive dialogue and mutual benefit. And when India shows up at a Quad meeting, China issues statements calling Quad an inclusive clique. Yet China seems totally cool with India staying silent when China and the US make their own deals. So, is this a hypocrisy? Or is China just really good at diplomatic code switching if you are trading with China, India, or the US? If you are investing in emerging markets or just trying to understand why geopolitics feels like a group chat where everyone typing but no one hitting send, this matters. Today we are breaking it down. With facts, you are welcome, let's dive in. Okay, let's map out exactly what we are observing. Because naming the pattern is like finding the remote in a couch cushion. It makes everything easier. Imagine a timeline. Or if you prefer, imagine your group chat after someone says, we need to talk. First event, a BRICS summit. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now the new kids on the block, Egypt, Saudi Arabia and the UAE. At this gathering, what does China say? You will hear phrases like BRICS is not seeking confrontation or cooperation should not target third parties. The tone is inclusive, development focused, very let's all hold hands and build infrastructure. Second event, a bilateral deal between China and the United States. Maybe it's on climate tech, maybe it's AI safety, maybe it's just agreeing to disagree about tariffs. What does China say now? Often silence. Or a very polite, very diplomatic, constructive dialogue, mutual benefit. The criticism of the US, it's on pause, like your Netflix account when you forget to pay. Third event, a Quad meeting that's the United States, Japan, Australia, India, focused on Indo-Pacific security, supply chains, emerging tech. Now what does China say? You will hear China opposes exclusive small cliques and block confrontation. The tone shifts, it's become a sharper, more like your mom when you didn't clean your room. We see you. So the pattern is clear. BRICS, we are all friends here. China US bilateral, let's make a deal. Quad, hey, who invited you? And your question is totally fair. Why the different tones? Isn't that a little two-faced? Let's dig deeper. And don't worry, we will keep it fun. Here the key insight. China doesn't have one foreign policy voice, it has four. Think of it like your phone do not disturb settings. Different modes for different audience. Track 1. The BRICS track. When China speaks at BRICS, it's talking to the global south, to emerging economies, to countries that want alternatives to Western-led institutions. The message is, we are building something inclusive, a multipolar world, not an anti-Western club, a pro-development partnership. Why this too? Because BRICS members Brazil, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, they all trade heavily with the United States. If China sounds too anti-American, it's like showing up to a potluck and criticizing the host dip. You might be right, but you are not getting invited back. Track 2. The bilateral US track. When China negotiated directly with Washington, the message changes. It becomes pragmatic, issue by issue, cooperate on climate, compete on technology, manage difference on security. Why? Because China economy still needs access to US markets, to US technology, to the global financial system. Total rupture helps no one. It's like breaking up with your gym buddy. You might not love them, but you still need someone to spot you on bench press. Track 3. The Quad track. Now when India joins the United States, Japan and Australia for Quad, China message shifts again. This time it's about security. about perceived containment. China sees Quad focus on maritime domain awareness, on critical minerals, on tech supply chains as directly challenging its own ambition in the Indo-Pacific. So the language becomes sharper, exclusive blocks, Cold War mentality, confrontation. It's not just criticism, it's a signal to the region, to its own domestic audience, to the world. Think of it like a passive aggressive post-it note on the office bridge. Someone ate my yogurt, we need to talk. Track 4. The domestic track, and finally inside China, in state media, in speeches to the Communist Party, the tone can be even tougher. Here you will hear about reciting US hegemony, about national regeneration, about standing firm. Why? Because domestic legitimacy matters, leadership must show strength to maintain support. It's like posting your gym selfie, you are not just working out, you are curating an image. So is this hypocrisy or is it something else entirely? I did argue it's strategic ambiguity. It's trailing the message to the audience to maximize flexibility, and guess what? Every major power does this. The United States does it, India does it, the European Union does it. It's not hypocrisy, it's statecraft. Or as my grandmother says, it's not lying, honey, it's being polite. Now let's talk about India. Because your question also asked, why doesn't India speak up? Why the silence when China and the US make deals? This is where it gets really interesting. And honestly, a little relatable. India's silence isn't weakness, it's deliberatory strategy called strategic autonomy, or as I like to call it, the art of diplomatic structure.